This episode of Now This Is Lit is brought to you by Audible. Check the link in the description to get your first Star Wars audiobook free. Everyone loves free things. Click that link. Do it. This show is also brought to you by our patrons. If you want to support the show in a different way, with just $1 a month, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. You can get a sticker. You can get access to an exclusive show that we do every month that's wild and chaotic and fun and something you can only get by becoming a member of the Patreon. There'll be so many more perks very, very soon. But for now, do you want a sticker? Do you want a sticker that has a Now This Is Lit logo? Because it's fantastic and I love them. But I also want to give them away because there's just a stack of stickers on my desk. So if you want one, $1 a month. Patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You're listening to Now This Is Lit, a podcast about Star Wars books, the people who make them, and the readers who just can't get enough of them. I'm your host, Meg Dowell. I use she, her pronouns. And in honor of the Acolyte releasing on June 4th, I thought it would be fun to try a new episode format. We're going to talk about Vernestra Rwoh on this episode, and by we, I mean me. I hope you enjoy. Of the many original characters first introduced to Star Wars readers throughout the High Republic multimedia project so far, Vernestra Rwoh is proving to be one of the most interesting to follow. She goes from Jedi Knight to Wayseeker, back to being a Jedi, and eventually becomes a leader within the Jedi Order. She has a unique weapon. It's so much more than a purple lightsaber, and she's not afraid to confront her superiors about their mistakes. She's young, but she's fierce. She also possesses some unusual abilities, even for a Jedi, such as being able to navigate ships using nothing but the Force. Vernestra's journey began with the launch of the High Republic on January 5th, 2021, in Justina Ireland's A Test of Courage. The character has since appeared in over a dozen Star Wars books and comics, and is set to make her on-screen debut in The Acolyte on Disney+. If you haven't read A Test of Courage, but you want more backstory on Vernestra, I highly recommend giving the book a try. There's an audiobook too, if you're into that. You don't need to have read the book or any of the books to watch the new show, but it's possible the show will spark your curiosity. So that's where I recommend you begin. There are many things about Vernestra that have drawn audiences to her since her Star Wars canon debut. She uses a light whip, that's cool. She doesn't always do the right thing in the moment, but she's always willing to learn from her mistakes and grow. She's asexual and aromantic. Justina Ireland confirmed this. It's real. She's been good at what she does from a very young age, but she still doubts and questions herself. She's as much a real person as any fictional character from Star Wars can be. She's relatable, as much as anyone who can navigate hyperspace with their eyes closed can be. And these are often the kinds of characters that draw Star Wars readers in. Characters who are not perfect, no matter how good they might be at using a lightsaber or sensing danger. Characters who are still trying to figure out their place in the world or the universe, even when one has seemingly already been carved out for them. This is why books for younger readers are so important. Vernestra appears in adult novels and comics too, but there is a reason her story starts in a middle grade book. Young people deserve to be seen in books, prominently featuring characters living their experiences, even in Star Wars. The High Republic is doing a great job of including these experiences in their stories. What makes Vernestra special is that she's an exceptionally gifted and talented individual who constantly finds herself surrounded by others quite close to her age, who she's expected to watch over and mentor. She has such a good role model in Stellan Gios that she knows, even at 16 years old, how important it is for people like Avon and Imri to have someone to look up to. This is why she carries so much guilt when the world around her literally starts to fall apart. She doesn't want to let anyone down. As a Jedi Knight, she so often already probably feels she has. Imagine the intensity of the pressure that must come with being one of the youngest in the Jedi Order ever to be knighted. and feeling you had to constantly prove that you earned it. What is saddest about this is Vernestra is a Mary Ellen and a Jedi, meaning she would go on to live for over 100 years in total. She didn't need to be pushed to achieve so much at such a young age, and her master and the council likely didn't intend to encourage her to pursue too much too quickly. She had her whole life to explore the galaxy and the Force. Perhaps later in life, having done so much so early, proved worthwhile. But still, speaking of her master, Stellan's training of Vernestra is a perfect example of how different the Jedi treated Padawans in the era of the High Republic than they do by the time Anakin Skywalker starts his training in the later days of the Galactic Republic. Stellan encourages Vernestra to explore her unique abilities in the Force, rather than discouraging her from straying from a carved-out path. This ends up serving her well as the Nihil threat worsens. After the fall of Starlight Beacon, she goes off on her own to deal with her grief the way she needs to deal with it. She knows distancing herself from the Jedi, even if only temporarily, will strengthen her in the long term rather than leave her at a disadvantage. One of the many benefits of getting a Star Wars book series that follows a set of characters over a longer period of time is that we get to watch them grow and learn and change and grow some more. Vernestra is 16 when the High Republic starts. What were you doing at 16? Hopefully not preparing to fight a war. But battles take many forms. Sometimes it's difficult to measure growth when you're young. But Vernestra's journey proves how much can change when you face fear head-on and refuse to let it break your spirit. Because she very easily could have given up. Many could have after Starlight Beacon was lost. But this is one of the most important takeaways from Star Wars for me. It's when all hope seems lost that we must seek it out more relentlessly. It's part of the journey of a hero, whether a hero of your own story or someone else's, to be given every reason to walk away from life's greatest challenges forever, but somehow finding your way back to face them anyway. Now, when we hear the name Vernestra Rwoh, we are inclined to think of the losses that could have shattered us, but didn't. The battles that may have scarred us, but did not ultimately defeat us. The challenges that could have ended us, but instead made us stronger and better prepared us for whatever the future might hold. We know now that eventually, Vernestra is granted the rank of Master and goes on to face more battles far beyond the conquest of the Nihil. But the High Republic era is not over yet. There's still a lot we don't know about Vernestra's journey. There's a lot to look forward to. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. If you want to learn more about Vernestra Rwoh, I highly recommend exploring the High Republic books in order. There's no rush to read them, and the stories are worth your time. If you want more character deep dives like this, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Enjoy The Acolyte, and welcome to the High Republic. Now This Is Lit is part of the Faraway Fandom Network. It is produced by Devor Montum, and written, hosted, and edited by me. Jose Jimenez designed our podcast art. You can keep up with the show on Substack, and Now This Is Lit, and find the show wherever you get your podcasts. There are so many ways you can support the show, and all of those ways are linked in the show description. The newest way is to become a member of our Patreon. For $1 a month, you can get access to an exclusive show and a sticker. And if we get 500 people to support the Patreon per month, I can hire an editor. That would be great for me, and maybe for you too. So if you'd like to support the show with just $1 a month, you can do it that way. Or you can just keep listening and sharing the episodes. That is also helpful, and I appreciate it. For more book reviews and Star Wars Book Celebration, follow Star Wars Book Reviews on Instagram and TikTok.